Welcome to the off week. I'm Trae. You can't see me because I'm behind the camera this time, but yeah. There's no theme song still, and there's no special video editing because this episode, out of laziness, we are doing a podcast studio tour. A podcast studio tour. Show you how we make the Nerd and Tie podcast, or at least roughly explain it while pointing at things like thing. All right. This is only a small fraction of my desk. I have a desk with a lot of stuff on it. But for the purposes of what we're talking about today, we're just talking about Nerd and Tie, and all you really need to talk about is this corner. Pretty much everything. And that is the laptop we run the show on, and its second monitor, and all the audio gear. Neat. So obviously, this is just where I produce the show. Nick and Fur are both located in two different cities in Wisconsin. Nick's in Janesville, Fur's in Eau Claire. But this is where I produce. And yeah, let's talk about it. We run the show on my MacBook here, which is 2011 or 2012. I cannot remember. Because I just can't remember when we bought the computer. This is a MacBook Pro that I've had, a 12-inch that I've had for a while. Skype runs on this thing, which actually we display on that screen over there. Along with Ustream Producer and CamTwist, which is how we do we capture the video from Skype. Because Fur's video appears over here. If Nick was on video, he'd also be over here. And CamTwist can capture that video, and I can make it another camera angle with some on-screen graphics. And then use CamTwist to mix their video with my video, which is captured by this terrible little webcam. Oh, look at that! But since I don't need to be in HD because, frankly, I'm not that attractive to look at in high quality. And so CamTwist captures the captured Skype video, which I display on that screen, which is currently showing Twitter on mine, and mixes all the graphics, and we feed that into Ustream Producer, which is on this screen when we're running the show. I used to use my iSight camera, but I used to have to literally put my computer up on a box. And even though technically this is not as good a camera, the not having to put your laptop up on a cardboard box every time you do a show is just nice. It's nice. All right, so that's the video. Let's talk about audio. So the Skype audio gets piped out through this little USB sound card. Pardon the rat's nest of cables underneath there. This little USB sound card, which is like $5, and gets fed into this mixer in channel 7.8. This is a Behringer Xenyx QX1202USB, I think. I think that's the model. It's the 4 XLR in Behringer with the FX stuff, which I don't use, but it was cheaper to get it with that at the time, so yeah. And with a USB interface built in. And so their audio goes in there. My audio goes in on XLR using my ATR-2100USB, which I've got a windscreen on here, so I don't have to worry about plosives as much. And yeah, so we use this to mix them all together. Music is brought in actually on the iPhone you are watching, that I'm recording this on. Not if you're watching it on my iPhone, I'm really scared. But the iPhone I'm recording this on usually is what I use to play music, and I plug that into 1112 over here as a little knob. I like using them. I don't ever really use these other inputs here because the knobs are frankly just I can turn these without looking. The audio from this then use a mix minus where we feed just my audio and the music audio to Nick and Fur through the FX out. That goes into the line in here. And so that's what they get fed in Skype. And then the full audio mix goes through the USB interface into the laptop for the video. And we used to record the MP3 in GarageBand on the laptop, but now we're using this Tascam DR40, which is plugged into the main out. And we actually plug into USB power during the show, so I don't have to worry about batteries. But the great thing is after the show, I just turn it on and off again, and I can just directly port over the MP3 without having to pull out the SD card or anything like that. And just pull the audio straight off, upload it straight to the web, and the show's done for the audio portion. It's fun and exciting. Yeah. This also is great because we can, these 1/4-inch ins also double as XLR ins, and so we can do audio recording on the road easily without actually having to use the mixer. We can just do 2 mics. But since we're a 3-person show, we use this mixer on the road. And actually, pretty much this whole workflow is intact on the road. It's just since I don't need a second monitor, so I don't need to capture video from Skype. So, yeah. It's pretty simple, if that makes any sense. So yeah, you can ignore the mic stand I use is a cheap Neewer boom arm. It costs like 14 bucks. You can ignore these cheap little $10 headphones. I use these on a daily basis because they're really comfortable. But I don't use them during the show. During the show I use these earbuds, which are came with my Palm Pre, actually. Because they're just really comfortable and they're inconspicuous on camera. And since we're not like mixing music, I mean, obviously there's music in the show, but since it's just audio, like I don't need the high fidelity of like a good set of like nice headphones. Anyone who tells you need to buy expensive headphones to do talk radio is selling you something. And they're selling you headphones if you were considered like it's because honest to God, also this is what your listeners are going to be using. Like most people listening to podcasts are either doing it on earbuds or they're doing it in their car. And so you're not really gonna, they're not getting the high fidelity experience anyway. So you may as well hear it the way it's gonna sound when you're, you know, listening to it. So yeah, that is that's it. That's the whole shebang. That's the whole show. It's all really straightforward. It's gonna be a pretty short video. Obviously, next episode, we're doing our feedback special. So, any comments, stuff you want to talk about. Do you do podcasting? What do you do differently? We used to do all this in software also. So, the fact that, like, we started out with just me with, like, a microphone and this computer doing everything in software, and now it's, like, this mess of stuff is, this is what they don't tell you about podcasting, is that it's an addiction. It's an addiction to audio gear. That's what you get, is that I started out owning nothing, using a cheap iPhone headset plugged directly to the computer and doing everything in software. And now I have a mixer. I've got a box full of mics for the live shows. I've got this ridiculous thing strapped to my desk because I don't have room for like a larger stand. That's really the whole reason I bought this Neewer stand, is it can clamp to the desk and I don't need to worry about footprint. You just end up buying all this stuff and you don't need it. You could podcast with your iPhone headset and a laptop, but for some reason you just like get hooked. Like, ooh, I want it to sound better. Ooh, I want to do more. Ooh, yeah. I'm an idiot. Anyways, that's the off week for this episode. Fun and exciting.